morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Market Today at Business Today Television. I'm your host, Shailendra Bhatnagar, joining you from New Delhi. It's, ladies and gentlemen, a huge marathon, a sprint, and a 100-meter dash that we are seeing by Nifty bulls on Dalal Street. All cues are pointing to yet another day of gains. और वैसे भी मंगल है तो मंगलवार होगा ही. Let's now begin analyzing the way the markets are likely to progress today. Cues from Wall Street are strong. Let's look at the daily chart of the Nifty at first. What you see on the Nifty is 23,658. This is a 1700 point rally that began on March 3rd and has now put Nifty on a very strong footing. We are positive for 2025. The losses that we had made in the last 3 odd months have been fully and more than recovered. Now let's look at the other positives that are emerging. I'll request the PCI to please file the longer term chart of the rupee. The rupee versus the dollar is the best performing index, the best performing currency in Asia as far as the month of March is concerned. The rupee gained 2.9% versus the dollar. It had hit a record low in early part of March, somewhere like 87.98, and yesterday's close, 85.55, is brought it to its level of Jan 6th. So that's also a very positive as far as preventing the outflow of net FII sales from the market is concerned. Now let's look at the other positives. I'll request the PCI to kindly fire the chart of the Dow Jones Index. The index reclaimed 200 DMA, reclaimed 21 EMA, and is on a strong footing as far as Wall Street is concerned, on expectations and hopes that the pain that Mr. Trump is injecting into the global ecosystem as far as economics is concerned via tariffs will not be as much as it is expected to be on April 2nd. Apart from that, you have a very strong close coming in from Wall Street. GIFT Nifty is up by about 30-35 points. So it's going to be a nice uptick on Dalal Street today. Let's hope for that. Crude oil prices, US 10-year bond yield, as well as the dollar index are quiet too. With this background in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our friend Mr. Dharmesh Kant. Namaste Dharmesh ji, a very warm welcome to you. As everybody knows, Dharmesh ji is with Cholamandalam Securities, where he is the head of research. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Good morning. How do you see sentiment on Dalal Street today?
Mr. Sharji, good to see you. Sentiments are, shaping up well on the Dalal Street as a precursor to the earnings season to be commenced in a couple of weeks, and the RBI policy meet also due on the first week of April. So these are the things which are pushing the market up. The market has corrected quite a bit, so bargain buying and value buying was always there on the cards. And fortunately, the SEBI lifting of the AUM limit for FIIs from 25,000 odd crores to 50,000 odd crores for the last beneficiary disclosure has helped the sentiments with the FIIs as well. And there we have seen a reversal of trend. Last 3 days they have been consistently buying, and which is likely to continue. Net, as you have summed up beautifully, I think this market is in a sweet spot. May not be the gains on the index may be as fast and vigorous as we have seen for the last 6 days, but we are definitely in the uptrend, at least for a couple of weeks till the earnings season commences, and this reciprocal tariff thing, the targeted tariff thing, is settled on 2nd of week, maybe 3-4 days more. But what we are recommending is any declines out here or a correction in the market for whatever news flow reason it is there should be bought into and just stay stock specific. It's not a blanket universal market buy, because there if things turn out bad going forward, you may be stuck for a long time. But if you're in a quality stock, which we have seen, the bounce back are far sharper than before.
Okay. Dharmesh ji says, allow me 20 seconds. The pre-open is upon us. I had forgotten to mention about the Nifty IT index. That has corrected 23%, and you will see signs of the index now coming back from today onwards. Well, a 100-point uptick on the Nifty in pre-open, 23,750, ladies and gentlemen, is back with the bulls. Leading the rally is TCS, 1.75% higher at 3692. Remember, it's the IT pack that has not participated at all in the last 2 weeks, and probably today you will see some positive sector rotation coming into it. Infosys 1% higher, 1610. Now let's look at the spaces which have been doing phenomenally well. Banks. Axis is 7 rupees higher, 1104.95. HDFC Bank is flat, 1797. State Bank of India is 3 rupees 50 higher, 785. You have a strong move coming into Bajaj Finserv, almost 10 rupees higher, 1904, and Bajaj Finance 110 rupees higher at 9200. A very quick look into FNO, then we'll again get back to Dharmesh ji. Okay, Zensar Technologies 6% higher, KPIT Technologies 4.5% higher. It's turning out to be an IT day. Strong move in Garden Reach, strong move in India Cement, Schneider is looking good, and you have Escorts Kubota 3.5% higher, 33.95. We'll pay attention to this a little later. Let's get back to Dharmesh ji. Dharmesh ji, your view on fourth quarter earnings. You did mention just a minute ago that they are also going to be strong triggers for an either side move. What are your expectations from corporate India for the quarter that's just gone by?
Shali, if you look at it from a quarter-on-quarter basis, that is from Q3 basis, it would be better. I mean, we are expecting almost near double-digit kind of a growth, 9 to 10%. But on a year-on-year basis, it will be difficult. It will be 2 or 3% at best. It can even be a negative growth. The reason being, fourth quarter of last financial year was very good. I mean, the Nifty EPS was around 290 for the quarter, so it was 17-18% kind of a growth. On that, in this environment where we have seen a couple of quarters of a slowdown in the economy, even GDP growth has come down for the entire financial year, it will be difficult to do a better number on a year-on-year basis. What we would be looking forward to very, intricately is the way the managements, give their outlook going forward. That will be very critical. And I'm very sure the sweetener will be a 25 basis point at least, a rate cut from the RBI to bolster the corporate India future growth outlook.
Okay, fair point. 83 points higher on the Nifty as far as pre-open is concerned. 23,750 is with us. A very quick check into the top performing stocks in the FNO, and then again we'll go with Dharmesh ji. Ireda 2.3% higher, 174. Defense is clicking well. Hindustan Aeronautics 3% higher, 42.49. The entire high beta space is back. 2400 is on Muthoot Finance, 2% higher. Ultratech Cement is clicking 1.7% higher, 11,244. Dharmesh ji, any view that you would have in the private banking setup? We have a record high on Kotak Mahindra Bank. Axis Bank, ICICI Bank is also at a record high. Any views on Axis and HDFC?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the banks have been doing pretty well. They were relative outperformer even in the fall. And so goes with the numbers. I mean, Q3 numbers, if you look at it, for private banks, it was a bit muted compared to the public sector banking space, where the numbers were far better than what private banking space, gave the numbers. But the good part is our interactions with most of the NBFCs and, few of the private banks has been the collection efficiency ratio has improved in the month of March. So the concern was on the collection efficiency, which eventually picked up in the month of March. So the numbers won't be that, fearful as far as provisioning of bad debts are concerned. Growth-wise, credit growth would be around 10-11%. So not a high growth Q4 for all of these banks. Axis Bank definitely looks better off rather than, I mean, ICICI Bank has already performed much, and HDFC price action I don't think will be much higher from where they are right now. But Axis does have the delta in place. And the other bank which we have been liking, on which we also did an initiative coverage, is the Federal Bank, which has been a very stable performer. I think this quarter would be the last quarter of degrowth. Henceforth, things are likely to pick up. We have gone ahead with a price target of 222 on Federal Bank.
Okay, so a blowout on Federal Bank yesterday. The counter rose 4.5%. Remember, the most recent high has been 216, which we saw on 5th of December. So from 216 it corrected all the way to 172, and Dharmesh ji puts his faith in this particular stock. NBFCs, Dharmesh ji, you have been a part of one of the finest NBFC franchises India has ever seen. What is your broader view on the NBFC sector? Any thoughts, any favorites here? I know this is a difficult one to answer given the fiduciary responsibility you have, but nevertheless do give it a shot.
See, NBFCs have been doing pretty well. The only gray area was the MFI sector. So microfinance sector was a gray area, and most of them have taken a preemptive move by lowering the growth and disbursement out there. But unsecured lending, which was the next area where fear was there that there may be NPAs and slippages out there, it has not panned out that way. In fact, the recovery has improved in that entire space. And I think NBFCs will surprise you with the numbers when they report Q4. They will be better than what the banking sector number would be. So that is how they are placed, and most of the NBFCs are also venturing into different verticals. So if it was just a personal or unsecured lending, now they are getting into vehicle finance, home loan, and other ticket sizes. Same is the case with our group companies, and everybody is following that. So I think they are in a sweet spot. You can have your pick out there, and Bajaj Finance has done remarkably well. But price-wise, I think it's now priced to perfection. So
absolutely,
they have to deliver something stellar to get a better on the price action side. But downside is definitely limited on most of them.
I so agree about Bajaj Finance being the top draw, and as you mentioned, it's at a record high, possibly priced to perfection. But the market has great enthusiasm for Bajaj Finance from about 7,500 levels, 9,200 now, and this is an all-time high. Well, the pre-open has settled. Nifty is trying to open 93 points higher. Nifty Bank 170 points higher. And the IT index, as I had mentioned, I'll request the PCR to please fire the IT index, the chart that we had made. It's corrected 22%, 23% on the IT index from its record high. That's 10,500 points. And given the fact that there is this expectation that actually fear in the market that artificial intelligence is going to create a lot of bad blood within the industry. It hasn't done very well in the last 1 week, 10 days or so. But we are going to see a nice uptick in Infosys, TCS. Part of it will be the build-up ahead of their fourth quarter earnings, and of course the fact that they haven't participated at all. So positive sector rotation there as well. Dharmesh ji, any favorites in the mid-cap IT space? What looks good?
Shali, you have to dissect IT into two parts. One is the software service provider, and other is the platform or the product service provider. So there I think all the large caps are primarily a software service provider, be it TCS, Infosys and all. So there the jury is still out. I would love to hear their commentary, because last 2 quarters they have been with a very stable set of a commentary with a positive outlook. This time when things have changed dramatically, and it's likely to change further, because as you said, artificial intelligence is definitely creating a lot of disruption. At the same time, the tariff policy is creating a disruption. The US government policy of re-rewarding the contracts will also be into a checkout. So there are many structural problems out there. But anything to do with engineering research and product development kind of IT service, that is doing very consistent and well. I think there you can have a look at, say, KPIT Technology or Tata Technology, Tata Elxsi. These are the counters which look to me better off. From the mainframe space, I think Persistent System is one which I think has a lesser exposure to the US market, and it's well diversified. So that is likely to do well. So these are the counters where I'm sticking to it. Others will have the trading bounces till the cloud is cleared.
धर्मेश जी, आजकल ये हाल हो गया, जिस चीज का इंसान ने इजाद किया था, कंप्यूटर हमसे पूछता है ये बताओ कि तुम रोबोट नहीं हो। तो कहे काफिर। चलिए कोई बात नहीं, ये दिन देखने को मिले हैं, इससे अच्छे दिन भी आएंगे। We'll again pay attention to the market, ladies and gentlemen. A bit of settling down that's happened in prices, and in terms of most actives, you have a brand new name, Colgate Palmolive, 2% lower at 23.75. Power Grid is slipping a third of a percent lower, and of course, in terms of top gainers, it's Syngene, and there is a good sector rotation that's happening in positive sector rotation in Ambuja Cement, 2% higher, Dalmia Bharat, 2% higher, and Ultratech Cement 1.7% higher. We'll keep cement and IT on our radar today. There's positive sector rotation. Dharmesh ji, PSUs came back with a bang. 7-10% uptick on railway stocks, 20-30% uptick on defense counters. PSU banks are buzzing. Anything that catches your attention that may not have moved but is doing very well?
I mean, may not have moved is difficult to say, but doing well and fundamentally also sound. There are many, both in the defense counter as well as in the public sector banking space and on the railway infra side as well. So defense HAL has moved quite, significantly, and it merits our attention because to my mind Q4 would be one of the stellar quarters when they report their earnings for HAL and BEL. Both are likely to post more than 25% kind of a profitability growth and book to bill ratio of more than 4x. So that is where they are standing with a margin improvement, everything in place. So I think more upside is due out there. In public sector banking space, most of them have moved, but I still think Bank of India is my favorite because of the consistency in the earnings for the last 3 quarters. I am confident they are likely to deliver 15-16% kind of an advances growth with 12% kind of a deposit growth with stable asset quality. It's still 0.7 times the price to book on a trailing basis. So a lot of headroom out there. And railway infra space, I think Ircon International is a 15-16% kind of a consistent compounder. It has corrected quite a lot, still very cheap if you compare to other railway stocks like RVNL and the likes of it. So there I think 210, 220 can be a likely target if one is willing to hold for next, say, 6 months or so.
Okay, Ircon and Bank of India. Did I get these two names right?
Sure, yeah, Sally.
Okay. Dharmesh ji, final set of questions before the market opens. One large cap that you like at current levels, decent valuations, and a strong uptick ahead.
Large cap strategy is Tata Motors. I mean, the stock has been beaten blue and black all through.
Kya baat?
But I think with the improvement in the rate cuts coming in Europe, improvement in US and the China JLA sales picking up, it's poised for a good bounce back. At, I mean, 700, 1020, it's pretty attractive. And 20-25% kind of up move just based on Q4 numbers is very much on the card. So Tata Motors is one which I am betting my money on.
Wonderful. What a fabulous thought process you have. Dharmesh ji, again, my apologies. I'll just pay attention to the opening quote and I'll be back with you shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, Mangalwar hai, to Mangal hi hoga. 93 points higher on the Nifty, 23,750 is with us. Nifty Bank, 51,890, 200 points higher. The rally since March 3rd is now 4,300 points. Nifty Bank is up 9.8% in the last 2 weeks. The IT index 1% higher, 355 higher. Let's pay attention to the rest of the market. TCS 30 rupees higher at 35.16. You have L&T 1% higher, 35.20. Infosys 1% higher, 16.09. Axis Bank 8 rupees higher. Tata Motors, something that Dharmesh has just pointed out, 5.3% higher. My apologies, 5 rupees higher. Bajaj Finserv 8 rupees higher. Bajaj Finance 25 rupees higher. So all put together, out of the 10 super heavyweight stocks, 9 are in the green. That's a big plus. Taking it away in the FNO space, Syngene 2% higher, 735.65. Ireda 2.3% higher, 174.10. KPIT 1402, 1.2% higher. Cement is buzzing. Ultratech 2.5% higher. You have a strong move that's coming into Lodha Developers, 1.5% higher, 1235. Most active counters, you have Hindustan Aeronautics making a presence felt, 1.1% higher. BSC is 1.5% higher. Ireda is in top traded. HCL Tech 1.3% higher. Kotak a third of a percent higher. A quick one on NSE 500, then we are back with Dharmesh ji. Top gainers in NSE 500. Okay, it's going to be a real estate day. Brigade Enterprises 2.7% higher, 1021. Garden Reach is 3.5% higher, 1762. RVNL strong move. How about defense as a theme? Okay, we have Zentech 5% higher. All three shipyards are doing very well. And what about BEL? 0.3% higher, 303. Dharmeshji, what would be your favorite defense stock, and do you think that enough pain has now been absorbed, and is this a time to get into the sector?
Definitely, LG, it's not late, even if you're getting now into the sector. And I think my favorites are Hindustan Aeronautics. HAL is the top pick out there, followed by Mazagon Dock. So though the price has moved up, but if you compare to other like Cochin Shipyard and all, it's still valuation wise relatively cheaper. And I think Government of India has been quite, consistent in awarding the orders to them, and Make in India theme is actually playing out very well in this sector. So product wise, margin wise, and the type of order, everything is sitting fine with them.
Okay, fair point. HAL and Mazagon Dock. 918, let me just take a detour into the volume buzzers. That is a space that needs to be tracked with a lot of consistency. Okay, Colgate Palmolive is down 2.5%, and that is fine, but at this stage, nearly 50% of its 5-day average has been traded, so that's painful. What else is interesting? I would imagine Ireda, 1.8% higher, 173, and already 25% of 5-day average is traded. Erstwhile favorites coming back in the traders list. Dharmeshji, Ireda, Hutco, IRFC, RVNL. You mentioned IRCON. Apart from IRCON, would you have a bet on Hutco and Ireda?
Actually, I would shy away from them just because of the valuation concerns which are there. Because to my mind, the next leg of the bull market, initially there can be some euphoria around stocks, but eventually the companies with a better consistent earnings growth trajectory will be the ones which will lead the next bull market. And there, I think if you want to stick to financial space from sector specific financial funding, I think PFC RSC stands a better bet than on the railway infra side like IREDA and all. So PFC RSC would be my favorite out there.
Okay, that's very well put. Let us see what REC is doing. Again, it was on a tear just in the last 1 week or so. REC, 1 second, RECL, rural electrification, yes. Okay, a strong move here, 447, and till about 2 weeks ago it was at 369. That's doing pretty well. Okay, Dharmeshji, any bets that you would on the fourth quarter earnings in terms of cement? This is a space that hasn't really done anything extraordinary for the last 2 odd years. In fact, a series of mergers and acquisitions has put a lid on at least moves on the large cap spaces, Ambuja, Ultratech in particular. What is your favorite here in the mid cap space as far as the cement sector is concerned?
I do think cement has a 1 quarter of run up. So volumes are likely to pick up. It should be in a near double digit kind of a volume growth in this quarter because a lot of construction activity pan India has picked up quite at a brisk pace after the initial first 6 months of a slowdown in the last this financial year. There, I think the best on the valuation metrics, if I look at it, Ambuja stands a good, leeway as far as uptrend is concerned, compared to an Ultratech, which has actually moved up and almost again price to perfection kind of a story. So any better number and positivity out there will have a better run up in Ambuja Cement than Ultratech. And Ultratech, anyways, is announcing too many business forays, so that's the challenge for them. There, I think, but cement strategy, one has to be very clear that it's a 3 month kind of a trading play which one is taking into account with stable margins and stable input costs. So that one has to be mindful of that. Pick is Ambuja Cement.
Fair point. And giving us company now, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Ashish Chaturmota, Executive Director and Fund Manager at JM Financial Services. नमस्ते आशीष जी, मतलब बड़ी देर कर दी आते आते, दर्शन दुर्लभ हो गए आपके। बाजार में इतनी ज़बरदस्त रैली चल रही है, मेरे को लगता है आप बहुत ज़बरदस्त नोट छाप रहे हैं इस वक्त, बिजी हैं बहुत, दोस्तों से मिलिए।
बिल्कुल, आपने जो कहा है इसको ध्यान रख के अब ये थोड़ा रेगुलर करेंगे, थोड़ा देर आए दुरुस्त आए, ये ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। जी,
ये बात जी बिल्कुल, देर आए दुरुस्त आए और बिल्कुल सही टाइम आए। आशीष जी, धर्मेश जी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। अब आपकी सोच की ज़रा परख करते हैं, बताइए क्या लगता है दलाल स्ट्रीट में 7 दिन की लगातार रैली, निफ्टी पर लगभग 1800 पॉइंट और बैंक निफ्टी पर लगभग 4100 पॉइंट, हो गया ज़्यादा या अभी शुरुआत है?
गुड मॉर्निंग। बिल्कुल, देखिए तो मेरे हिसाब से शैल जी जब गिरा था तब भी ज़्यादा हो गया था, तो थोड़ा ज़्यादा गिरावट के बाद हमेशा जब हम जितना ज़्यादा इसको स्ट्रेस देते हैं तो जब रिकवरी आती है वो इनिशियल रिकवरी हमेशा शार्प होती है। और इसलिए एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट डेटा है शैल जी, क्यों हम कहते हैं बाज़ार में हमेशा बने रहना चाहिए, उसका एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि अगर से आप पूरे साल पिछले हमने 20-25 सालों का डेटा देखे तो जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डेज होते हैं वो कुछ पूरे साल में 20 से 25 दिन होते हैं। ये 20 से 25 दिन अगर से आप गलती से बाजार में बने हुए नहीं हैं तो आपके जो रिटर्न डबल डिजिट में बनते हैं वो सिंगल डिजिट में आ जाते हैं। तो पॉइंट ये है कि ये जो 20 दिन होते हैं ये आपके 70-80% रिटर्न के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल होते हैं, और इसीलिए कोई भी इनको प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर पाता। 2020 में आप देखिए कोविड में जब नीचे से रिकवरी आई तो हम लोग शायद कोविड की वेव 2 के अंदर में थे, जब कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि कोई इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी चल रही होगी। उसके बावजूद भी बाजार ने 7500 से जो 11000 तक की रैली निकाली, वो कोविड वेव टू थी, जब लोग घर से काम कर रहे थे, बाहर कोई इकोनॉमिक डेटा नहीं, एक्टिविटी नहीं थी। यही मुझे लगता है अभी हुआ कि आप देखिए नीचे से जो रिकवरी आई ये किसी के समझ के बाहर हुई और इतनी फास्ट रिकवरी देखने को मिली। तो मेरे हिसाब से ये बाजार का नेचर है। अब जहाँ तक के रिकवरी की बात है, मेरे हिसाब से शैल जी बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह है कि निफ्टी अपने 200 डे मूविंग एवरेज के आसपास आ रहा है, जो कि करीब करीब 24,000 के आसपास है। और मुझे लगता है कि जो एक शार्प रिकवरी टुवर्ड्स 24,000 के आसपास आई, हो सकता है कि थोड़ा कंसोलिडेशन बाजार करे, पर हमारा ये मानना है कि बाजार का मीडियम टू लॉन्ग टर्म बेस अब 23,000 और 22,800 के आसपास बन चुका है। कोई भी डिप अगर से 23,000 22,800 के आसपास आती है, वहां पर आप देखेंगे वापस से बाजार के अंदर बड़ा इंटरेस्ट बनेगा। और मेरा मानना है कि इवेंचुअली हम 24,200 जो कि 200 डे मूविंग एवरेज है उसको क्रॉस करेंगे, और अपसाइड ओवरऑल जो हमारा बायस है वो बाय ऑन डिप्स का है। और हमें लगता है कि बाजार में स्ट्रक्चरली यहाँ से एक पॉजिटिव ट्रेंड ही बना हुआ रहेगा।
जी आशीष जी, जितनी तारीफ की जाए इस बेहतरीन बात की कि वन हैज़ टू रिमेन इन्वेस्टेड इन द मार्केट, उतनी कम है। आपने एक इतनी बड़ी बात और इतनी जिस बात पर बहुत ही कम ध्यान दिया जाता है उस पर चर्चा करी, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत आभार। अब ये बताइए कि क्या ख़रीदारी करी पिछले 5-7 दिन में, क्या किया और अब क्या आशंका लग रही है, कहाँ पैसे गए?
बिल्कुल, तो मेरे हिसाब से शैल जी जैसे कि हर फॉल के बाद एक नए सेक्टर्स या नए लीडर्स उभर के आते हैं, इस फॉल के बाद जो क्लियरली एक स्ट्रक्चर था बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल बीएफएसआई, ये क्लियरली एक ट्रेंड बन रहा था। जब बाजार की गिरावट आ रही थी तब आप देखिए कि क्या दो इंपॉर्टेंट डेटा है। सबसे पहले तो जो आरबीआई ने रिस्क वेट को कम किया, इसको मार्केट, ये कहीं ना कहीं पूरे बैंकिंग बीएफएसआई के लिए बहुत पॉजिटिव था। सेकंड, रेपो रेट में एक 25 बेसिस पॉइंट का रेट कट आया। और तीसरा, जिस तरह से लिक्विडिटी का इन्फ्यूजन ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशंस के थ्रू आरबीआई ने किया, ये तीन चीज मार्केट के लिए बहुत ही पॉजिटिव थी, और खास तौर पर बीएफएसआई स्पेस के लिए बहुत पॉजिटिव थी। और आप देख रहे थे कि इसको हम कहते हैं रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ कॉन्सेप्ट। जब बाजार गिर रहा था तब आपके जो एनबीएफसी थे, चाहे वो बजाज ट्विंस हो, चोलामंडलम हो, श्रीराम फाइनेंस हो, ये स्टॉक स्टेबिलिटी दे रहे थे। भले इनके अंदर बड़े प्राइस मूवमेंट नहीं आए, बट ये मार्केट की गिरावट के साथ पार्टिसिपेट नहीं कर रहे थे। यही चीज हुई बैंकिंग के अंदर में, जहां पर आईसीआईसीआई, कोटक, एचडीएफसी, एक्सिस जैसे जो लीडर्स थे, उनके अंदर में कोई प्राइस ड्रॉप नहीं आया। इनफैक्ट जब इंडसइंड का एपिसोड हुआ, उसके बाद हमने देखा कि बैंक निफ्टी में गिरावट आई, क्योंकि उसका एक वेट इंडसइंड बैंक का उस बैंक निफ्टी में था। बट उसके जो बाकी काउंटर पार्ट थे, चाहे वो एचडीएफसी हो, आईसीआईसीआई हो, कोटक हो, ये प्राइस स्टेबिलिटी दिखा रहे थे। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये क्लियरली नेक्स्ट जो पूरा 6 से 9 महीना है, वो मुझे लगता है कि बैंकिंग, फाइनेंशियल्स ये लीड करते हुए रहेंगे। तो टॉप निफ्टी हैवीवेट्स के अंदर में ये सेक्टर हमें सबसे बेहतरीन लगता है। दूसरा, अगर से मैं थीमेटिक थीम की बात करूं, तो मुझे लगता है क्लियरली, जैसे अभी बात चल रही थी, डिफेंस डिफेंस एक बहुत स्ट्रक्चरल ट्रेंड के अंदर वापस री एंटर हो रहा है। पहले बहुत बड़ी रैली पिछले 1.5-2 साल में देखने को मिली, उसके बाद अच्छा खासा करेक्शन भी हमें देखने को मिला, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग कम हुई और उसका पूरा इंपैक्ट, चाहे वो पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग में कोई भी बिजनेस हो, उसके ऊपर देखने को मिला। पर डिफेंस के अंदर में पिछले कुछ दिनों में ही गवर्नमेंट ने करीब 50,000 ऑर्डर की मंजूरी जो दी, वो एक बहुत क्लियर ट्रेंड है कि डिफेंस का जो केपेक्स है वो कंटिन्यू बना रहेगा। और यूरोप में जिस तरह से डिफेंस स्पेंडिंग के नंबर आना शुरू हुए, ये पूरे डिफेंस सेक्टर को पॉजिटिव रडार पे रखेंगे। वहां पे मुझे लगता है भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लिमिटेड, मजगांव डॉक, एचएएल, इन द प्राइवेट सेक्टर मुझे लगता है सोलार एक्सप्लोसिव्स जैसी कंपनीज बड़े बेनिफिशियरी रहेंगे। और एज अ डिस्क्लोजर, ये सभी स्टॉक जो हमने अभी तक चर्चा की, हमारे पोर्टफोलियो एपेक्स बीएमएस में भी बने हुए हैं।
जी, धर्मेश जी से चर्चा करते हैं। 9:28। अभी बाजार में चुस्ती तो नहीं है, थोड़ी बहुत मुनाफा वसूली है, वो बिल्कुल ठीक है। 6 दिन की इतनी धमाकेदार तेज़ी के बाद आप मामूली सी गिरावट या प्रॉफिट बुकिंग दे रखे हैं। धर्मेश जी, योर व्यू सर ऑन दी FMCG space. Is this something that you would want to touch, or are you staying away because there has been really not much of a correction in valuations?
No, Shali, I would be staying away from FMCG space. The reason being, it's a 4-5% at best volume growth kind of a story with hardly any growth in blended direction. And the fight is to maintain the margins and with single digit kind of a growth. Valuations are still higher side, 25, 26 time PE multiple you are getting. So if the growth story is missing and a lot of localized competition is there in the space, so they are buying them, but still the competition is there and they are missing on the next leg of the growth story in the India setup. And that is why HUL has to buy a minimalist kind of a company. So we are staying away from them. I mean, there are better plays in the market, more aggressive, better earning through trajectory is there. And in the market, we are there for growth opportunity rather than a defensive kind of a story. So to my mind, there can be a trading bounce back. 3, 4, 5% kind of a bounce back can be there in most of the FMCG space, but that should be the end of it.
Okay, so that's the view that is coming in. आशीष जी, चर्चा करते हैं ज़रा बाज़ार की और बारीकी से। आपने अब तक जो बातें करी वो लार्ज कैप्स की तरफ सीमित थी। मिड कैप्स और स्मॉल कैप्स में आपकी क्या सोच है? कोई फेर बदल, कोई तब्दीली आपने करी हो जेएम फाइनेंशियल्स के पीएमएस पोर्टफोलियोज में इस तरफ?
बिल्कुल। तो शैल जी, देखिए, हमें जो स्पेस काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है। पहले तो जो पूरा टूरिज्म का थीम है वो काफ़ी प्रॉमिसिंग है, क्योंकि हमने देखा है कि एवरेज रूम रेट्स होटल्स के अंदर में कंसिस्टेंटली बढ़ रहे हैं। सप्लाई साइड पे इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ोतरी नहीं दिख रही, पर डिमांड कंटिन्यूसली हमें देखने को नजर आई, और उसकी वजह से हम देख रहे हैं एवरेज रूम रेट्स बढ़ रहे हैं, ऑक्यूपेंसी रेट्स बढ़ रहे हैं, और इसका इम्पैक्ट कंपनीज की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में आ रहा है। साथ ही साथ होटल स्पेस में एक जो सबसे अच्छी बात है, मैनेजमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स दिए जा रहे हैं, एसेट लाइट बिजनेस मॉडल की तरफ शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं, उसका भी बेनिफिट आरओसी में, रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड में, इन कंपनीज के नजर आ रहा है। इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि जो स्ट्रक्चरल ट्रेंड बन रहा है वो पूरे हॉस्पिटैलिटी स्पेस में बन रहा है। लार्ज कैप की बात करूं तो आईटीसी होटल्स जो ऑलमोस्ट 18 टाइम्स ईवी एबिटा पे हमको ट्रेड करते हुए देखने को मिल रहा है, जहां पर पे हम देख रहे हैं दिग्गज जो इंडियन होटल्स है वो करीब 38-39 टाइम ईवी एबिटा पे ट्रेड कर रहा है। तो वहां पे मुझे लगता है कि एक अच्छी वैल्यू इमर्ज हो रही है, और ये स्टॉक भी मुझे लगता है इन्वेस्टर्स के रडार में, और हमारे पोर्टफोलियोज में भी हमने इसको जगह दी है। मेरा ये मानना है कि 185 186 पे टेक्निकली भी बहुत बड़ा ब्रेकआउट जो लिस्टिंग के बाद हुआ, उसके बाद एक ब्रेकआउट आया, तो वो लेवल बहुत अच्छा सपोर्ट करेगा, और यहाँ से 240 तक की जगह मैं समझता हूँ आईटीसी होटल्स के स्टॉक में देखने को भी नजर आ सकती है। अगर से इसी स्पेस में मैं थोड़ा सा स्मॉल मिड कैप की तरफ जाऊं, तो मुझे लगता है ताज जीवी के जो कंपनी है वो काफी प्रॉमिसिंग है, और इस स्टॉक ने भी अपनी जो स्ट्रेंथ है वो पूरे इस फॉल में मेंटेन रखा। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि ये जो 3-4 दिन में डिप आई है, ये एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करेगा ताज जीवी के में। अगेन ऑन अ टेक्निकल पैरामीटर मुझे लगता है 460 एक बहुत लॉन्ग टर्म सपोर्ट इस स्टॉक का बना है। ये सपोर्ट लेवल अगर से स्टॉक होल्ड करता है, तो मैं समझता हूँ 600 रुपए तक की पोटेंशियल अपसाइड जो है वो ताज जीवी के स्टॉक में देखने को नजर आ सकती है। हॉस्पिटलिटी के बाद हमें लगता है जो सेकंड स्पेस काफी अच्छा लग रहा है वो हॉस्पिटल सेगमेंट है। हॉस्पिटल सेगमेंट में हम देख रहे हैं कि जो कंपनीज है जैसे कि मेदांता, ये हमारे पोर्टफोलियोज में हमने इसको जगह दी है। हमें इसलिए अच्छा लगता है कि ऑलमोस्ट 69,000 रुपीज की एवरेज रेवेन्यू पर ऑपरेटिंग बेड ये कंपनी बना रही है, और इनकी जो प्रेजेंस है वो टिपिकली ऐसी सिटीज के अंदर में जहाँ पर पॉपुलेशन काफी ज्यादा है। तो आप अगर से देखेंगे गुड़गांव, रांची, इंदौर, बिहार जैसे मार्केट्स के अंदर में ये कंपनी, यूपी जैसे मार्केट्स के अंदर में ये हॉस्पिटल खुल रहे हैं, और ऑलमोस्ट इनके जो 3,000 बेड्स हैं उनकी कैपेसिटी काफी अच्छी है, और साथ ही साथ ऑक्यूपेंसी रेट्स काफी अच्छे हैं। नई जो इंक्रीमेंटल कैपेसिटी ये कर रहे हैं उसमें से जो 3/4 कैपेसिटी है वो एसेट लाइट बिजनेस मॉडल पे आ रही है। इस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि ग्लोबल हेल्थ यानी कि मेदांता एक बहुत ही अट्रैक्टिव बेट होगा, और यहाँ पर पे स्टॉक में भी लॉन्ग टर्म सपोर्ट 1200 के आसपास है, ये सपोर्ट लेवल होल्ड करते हैं। तो मेरा मानना है कि 1600 रुपए तक की एक अपसाइड ग्लोबल हेल्थ यानी कि मेदांता के स्टॉक में भी देखने को नजर आएगी। एज अ डिस्क्लोजर, ग्लोबल हेल्थ को भी हमने हमारे पोर्टफोलियोज में जगह दी हुई।
बिल्कुल। धर्मेश जी, बिफोर वी लेट यू गो, योर फाइनल व्यू ऑन होटल स्टॉक्स if you have a favorite, and a view on hospital stocks if you have a favorite.
Definitely, I am there with Ashish ji on both the sectors. Both the sectors are looking pretty good and poised for a well growth trajectory. Only, I mean, 3 months of a blip can happen in the monsoon season when hotel stocks don't find much of attraction, but we still have 3 months to go into that marriage season, and the summer vacation season is setting in. My favorite in the hotel space is East India hotels, just because of the valuation comfort it has compared to the others in the same group. It's almost trading at half the valuation multiple out there. And hospitals, our favorite has long-time favorite has been Narayana Hrudayalaya, which we have initiated a coverage at 1260, and it's doing pretty well. I think Q4 numbers are likely to be pretty good for that, and the Cayman Island business is likely to pick up more, vigorously from next financial year, that is FY26. They are doing the right things. Capacity expansion is also happening out there. So net, we have a price target of 2100 on Narayana Hrudayalaya. So these are the two top favorite pick out there.
Okay. Thank you, Dharmesh ji, and again, it's always a pleasure to listen to views, and of course, also get a view into how your thought process is at the moment. The dip has been purchased into, ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty IT index is the top performer, 1.65% higher. This is something that I had mentioned right in my opening quotes. This is going to look good. Now we have Ashish with us. Let us try and understand his psychology while dealing with the market. Ashish ji, what are the pockets where you are hunting in terms of mid caps and small caps? कहाँ पर आपको लगता है कि करेक्शन ठीक ठाक हो गया?
So definitely, Shalji, as we discussed, two space. One, the hospital, where we have mentioned stocks like Global Health, and second is the hospitality, where we have liked stocks like Taj GVK and ITC hotels. But apart from that, we are trying to look a lot of opportunities within the defense as a space, because we believe structurally, apart from the names we had discussed, stocks like Bharat Electronics or Mazdang Rock, there will be a lot of opportunities which will emerge in the entire defense opportunity, because we believe structurally this space is the size of opportunity is going to be humongous. We believe that almost 10 lakh crore is going to be the size of opportunity within the domestic market, and almost 2 lakh crore is going to be the opportunity size for the export market. So put together 12 lakh crore kind of opportunity size is there. If you look at from the current top line growth of all the companies put together, we believe that there is going to be a huge potential growth, and almost 15-16% CAGR growth could be expected in this space. So defense would be one opportunity which we would like to look more deeper within the small and mid cap opportunities. Apart from that, we have been a firm believer that EMS, which is electronic manufacturing service as a space, is going to see a very big trend. Yes, they have seen good correction in the last 2 months time frame, but we need to also understand this was the space which has seen one of the fastest rally in the last 2 years time frame. So generally what market do is when they realize the potential of the size of opportunity, the immediate reaction is very sharp, although the numbers come little later, and that's what happened to these stocks. There was a disappointment in terms of the valuation. That valuation has already seen correction, but we believe from a sector growth perspective, 30 to 40% top line growth is expected in the entire sector, and with this there will be margin expansion which will happen because of the operating leverage. So we firmly believe stocks like Keynes, PG Electroplast, Sirma, or to some extent stocks like Amber. These are the names which will continue to do well. So we are holding these stocks in our portfolios, and we believe these stocks have seen correction, and they've still not seen very sharp recovery. So there is a good possibility we might see a decent upside coming from these names.
Ashish ji, is the threat of a rupee weakness over?
Yeah. So, Shalji, what we are closely observing in this on this parameter is basically the dollar index. So, dollar index has seen a fall from 109 to almost 103. And looking into this, I think we have seen a sharp, recovery, at least in the rupees. We had been seeing rupees falling very intensely in the last 2 months time frame. So there is good amount of recovery, but we firmly believe it is going to remain stable, and we don't expect the same amount of weakness to return to rupee. At the same time, RBI has taken some good measures. This will also protect the downside. So keeping this in mind, our belief is rupee is going to remain stable. We are not going to see a very sharp recovery in the dollar index. This is our expectation. And keeping this in mind, I think broadly this will also provide a lot of stability to the markets also.
Ashiji, we've discussed defense under the broader PSU theme. Are you sort of looking with some degree of positivity as far as railway stocks are concerned? Maybe RailTel, RVNL. These were very high beta counters. Yeah. They have corrected very sharply. Government support remains. Spending in the budget is always there. How are you tracking the railway universe, and what is your view there?
So, Shalji, you know it very well that we had played this space very well in the last, recovery cycle, and where we had positions in stocks like Titagar, RailTel, RVNL, and post budget. Actually, the last budget, that is 2024 budget, we trimmed our positions in this space. At this point of time, honestly speaking, we have almost zero allocation in any kind of railway stocks. But as I mentioned, within the public sector space, our focus would be more on defense. And if we had to put incremental allocation, then it would be on stocks which are related to power sector, because we believe that power is going to be the need of the hour, and renewable energy is going to see lot of incremental flow, investment flows. So keeping this in mind, I think there's a lot of opportunity within the energy space. So whether it's in the form of companies like PFC, REC, or the utilities companies like NTPC, or if I have to play, then I think even BHEL is also a good opportunity, because it has seen a very sharp correction. And looking into the order book, looking into the overall transition, we believe BHEL could be a good beneficiary of this entire power sector demand. So keeping this in mind, our focus would be first on defense, second on power. We will be very selective in case in railways, but at this point of time, we don't have any allocation to the railway space.
Okay, fair point. Ashishji, you were the original power bull. I remember NTPC discussing between 180 and 220. Tata Power, Coal India. These were stocks that were a part of your long-term portfolio and made tons of money for your PMS investors. Now, given the fact that at least in North India we have an early onset of summer, what is your view on power producers and maybe Coal India?
So definitely, Shelji, we like Coal India because there's a strong dividend yield, which gives us a lot of protection on the downside. I think the stock has seen a very sharp correction, at least from the mid of January, February. So we have seen a correction from 540 to almost 360 levels. From there, we are seeing some stability coming into the price behavior. But looking into the power demand, we are going to see the demand is going to be far better than the supply, and that's where the power prices are going to remain stable. Coal India is going to be a big beneficiary. So I think at these levels there is a good possibility of a 10 to 15% kind of upside, which can be seen in Coal India, at least in the short to medium term time frame. And structurally, we believe NTPC, Power Grid, Hitachi Energy, these are the names which are going to be big beneficiary of the long term tailwind which is there in the power space.
Okay, fair point. So that's the view as far as power is concerned. How about private power producers, Adani Power, JSW Energy, Torrent Power? Do you have a position there?
Rather than playing the direct power producer, we are trying to play this theme through the proxy players, the ancillary players. So we have positions in names like Hitachi Energy. We have positions in names like Apar Industries, for that matter. I think there is some of the renewable themes which we are trying to play in our portfolios. It is in the form of stocks like Inox Green, which is Inox Wind and Inox Green. So I think these are the names which we are trying to play within the power sector, rather than the large cap power utilities companies like JSW Energy or Adani Energy. Basically, if we are playing the utilities, it is through the public sector undertakings, like names like NTPC, Power Grid, and all those stuff. And within the private space, we are focusing more on the renewable energy space like Inox Wind and Inox Green.
Fair point. Ashiji, how about the space of metals? One of the dark horses that probably some fund managers are talking about is metals. We've kept quiet on this one for a while. How are you looking at the metal space and what have you done over the last 2 odd months in your own portfolio as far as metals, ferrous and non-ferrous are concerned?
Definitely. So there is a inverse correlation between metal index and the dollar index. So we have seen a dip in the dollar index, which is going to give rise to the entire commodities as a cycle. If you look at whether it's aluminum, copper, zinc, lead, we are seeing these commodities hitting multi-year high after a long-term consolidation. Obviously, one part of this is related to the recovery in the China. So that's going to be a big positive for the entire commodities. Second, we believe that there is a lot of flow of money which has happened to China. So this is also the expectation that Chinese economy is going to do better. And if China does better, this is good for the entire commodities space. So I think we are also positively viewing this as a space. But what we are playing are the mid cap opportunities within the metal space. So I think there are certain names like Sada Energy or Sham Metallics or stocks like Lloyd Metals. These are the names which we have been liking and we are reviewing it. But within this, Lloyd Metals is something which we already hold in our portfolio for a long time. But we are positively looking into other stocks also to create some positions.
9:45, the first half an hour of markets has lapsed. Ladies and gentlemen, there is strength. The Nifty is now inching towards 23,800. It's a win of about 121 points. Remember, the rally is now on its 7th day. The price that you see on the Nifty is now somewhere of early February levels, which was the budget week number, somewhere like Feb 4th, Feb 3rd is where the Nifty is in terms of positioning. The Bank Nifty is the top draw, 200 points higher And as I had mentioned in my opening commentary, today is the day for the Nifty IT index. A 2.5% uptick on Nasdaq, that's positivity bringing in, and of course the fact that it had done nothing. The Nifty IT index over the last 3 odd weeks, that is the way money is coming in. 715 points higher, 2 percentage points up at 37,932. That's the state of play as far as markets are concerned. Let's again reunite with Ashish ji and take his view on the entire wealth management space. Disappointing trends here, Ashish ji, something that you and I have over so many decades really enjoyed the financialization space, is now a victim of regulatory framework of the regulators for whatever reasons. So brokerages are down, back-end service providers like CDSL, CAMS have slipped, and of course exchanges are also not doing well as far as markets are concerned, because volumes have now been taken away. In this space, what is your view? Are there any long-term compounders that you continue to hold?
So, Shalji, definitely there is a regulatory concern, and which has resulted into a drop of the businesses for a lot of these exchanges. This is getting reflected into there was a data which suggested that almost option volume has dropped by almost 80%. So there's a very big drop. And I was speaking to some of the prominent brokers. They are also looking very concerned because of the kind of drop in the activity which is happening in the derivatives market or the options market. But if you look at the entire financialization of savings as a theme, this is a very big structural theme. Only thing is that within this theme, there is going to be a shift, whether you are going to see this happening in the trading market, which is happening in the options market, or the shift will go to something like the annuity business models, which is in the form of asset management or wealth management outfits. We believe both the asset management and the wealth management businesses are going to see long-term tailwind, because this is the space where we will see a lot of traction getting built into, and that's where companies which are in the wealth management outfits, whether it's stocks like Nuvama Wealth, we had a discussion about this company a lot of time on your shows. We structurally holding this stock for last almost 1.5 years time frame, and we still believe that there is a lot of potential for companies like Nuvama Wealth or even 361. These are the companies which are going to see a big advantage of the tailwind in the space. So we continue to hold these names within the wealth management outfits. In the asset management, I think companies like HDFC AMC, UTI AMC, NAM India, these are the companies which are going to see a lot of traction. So we hold these stocks in our portfolios also. So like within the AMC space, we hold stocks like NAM India and UTI AMC, and within wealth management outfits, we are holding a stock like Nuvama as our core portfolio holdings.
Okay. Would you want to comment on CDSL and CAMS?
So honestly speaking, we are holding these names, but we have reduced some weight in stocks like CDSL and even BSC. So we were holding these stocks for a very long time, and I think 2 months back when we started seeing some price correction, and this also got reflected into the regulatory concerns. So we started cutting our positions, and we have reduced our weight in both BSC and CDSL. But yes, some portion we are still holding in our portfolios. At a right time, we might want to add further position into these stocks, but at this time, as we see both fundamentals and technicals, we are not seeing some sharp consolidation or recovery into the prices of CDSL. So we would like to hold to add any kind of fresh positions.
Fair point. And Ashish ji, one thing that has happened in the last 3 odd months is the huge deterioration in the cable and wireless space in terms of future outlook. We have a very big, deep-pocketed player in the form of the Aditya Birla Group, and also the Adani Group now making forays into cable and wire business. What do you think are the prospects of market leaders, Polycab, KEI Industries? What have you done there in their portfolio? These were great wealth creators.
These were great wealth creators, and we had made some very serious money in stocks like KEI, Polycab, and Apar Industries. But definitely, there is a lot of concern with regards to the entry
Yes.
of these two big players, whether it's Ultratech, who has done almost 1800 crore kind of is expected to do almost 1800 crore kind of capex in the cables and wire segment, and now with Adani coming into the play, there's obviously there's the advantage which they have in the form of raw material capacity. So obviously this is going to reduce the PE multiples which we used to give to stocks like KEI and Polycab. Whether the top line growth or profit growth is going to get deteriorated, we firmly believe that is not going to happen, because the size of opportunity is large. So if we believe that the 10 lakh 11 lakh crore kind of capex is going to grow at 10-11% on a sustainable basis, and wires and cables forming almost 8 to 10% of the overall capex which we are going to put, the size of opportunity is large. Second, if you believe the 35 to 40% of the market is still unorganized, so these organized players have a lot of have a bigger opportunity size. But the challenge is, because when the new entrant come and the entrant is really the players are really large enough, then it kind of reduces the P multiple which you want to give to this space. This is exactly what has happened to Asian Paint, Berger Paint, and this might happen to the Polycab or KIs of the world. So my sense is there's not going to be serious disappointment in terms of earnings potential, but the challenge is going to be whether we are going to see the same PE multiples, and that's why my belief is this sector is going to get into a consolidation phase.
Okay. Okay, so that's the view coming in. The Nifty, ladies and gentlemen, is rallying very, very sharply now, almost 185 points higher. 23,842 is with us, and given the strength of short covering that the bears are doing, I think we'll see 24,000 before March FNO expiry is out. Any thoughts, Ashish ji, on Mr. Trump's tantrums as far as tariffs are concerned? What do you think will happen on April 2?
So I think, Shalji, it is anybody's guess. That's $1 million question. Nobody is capable enough to answer what Trump is going to do. But definitely, what we have realized is, and you also know that the nature of the market is, if market has seen certain uncertainty, and so market will react to it, but the same uncertainty or the nature of uncertainty, market is not going to react with the same magnitude the next time. I think with Trump also, now there's going to be a discounting factor. We are not going to react in the same fashion we had seen in the last 2 months time frame. So my belief is, even if there is some negative, I think, outcome, there is going to be some correction, but the magnitude is going to be far lesser, and that's the reason I said 22,800, 23,000 is going to be a very crucial support. In case Nifty drops to those levels because of any reason, that would be a great opportunity for investors to get into the market.
Okay, fair point. 954. आशीष जी, क्लोजिंग थॉट्स अब क्या लगता है? Are we is the worst behind us? Are we now looking forward to our foreign friends resuming buying, because US 10-year yield and dollar index has cooled, and as you say, Trump's threats will have a receding impact in the coming weeks, months and years?
Definitely, that would be my thought, and I think we are looking market very positively. My sense is, we are going to cross this 200-day moving average, which is at 24,000, 24,200. Once we see a crossover about 200-day moving average, there will be a lot of participants who are sitting on cash. There's a huge cash level to the extent of 20-25% of positions people are holding on cash. Once this 200-day level gets crossed, you will see a lot of this money will start coming into the market, and this will lead to the next round of rally. And as we expect 25,000, 25 to 25,200 other levels, we believe markets are going to see. From a valuation perspective, on the fall, we saw Nifty correcting almost to 18.6 PE multiple, and generally this is below 5-year averages. So keeping this in mind, lot of value investors are also looking to see the entry into the markets. So keeping this in mind, I think any dip, that would be a great opportunity to re-enter into markets. And but one thought which which we have in at this point of time, large caps are going to dominate the space. Small cap, yes, there will be selective opportunities which will come, but the bigger opportunity will emerge in the large cap space.
Okay. And finally, Bajaj Finance. कहाँ जा रहा है?
Bajaj Finance, 5 digit is what my expectation is, Shalji. We at a right time, we at around 70.
अरे 5 digit तो ये रहा सामने.
So बिल्कुल 5 digit क्रॉस करेगा और 5 digit क्रॉस करके मेरा थॉट है शैलजी ये स्टॉक 13,000 तक की रैली के लिए प्रिपेयर हो चुका है. नॉट ओनली बजाज फाइनेंस, बजाज फिनसर्व, चोलामंडलम, श्रीराम, ये 4 स्टॉक मुझे लगता है पूरे एनबीएफसी स्पेस में बड़े वेल्थ क्रिएटर बनेंगे. एज अ डिस्क्लोजर, ये चारों ही स्टॉक हमारे पोर्टफोलियो एपेक्स पीएमएस में भी बने हुए.
जी बिल्कुल. Shriram Finance, ladies and gentlemen, for those who've been tracking our conversations with Ashish ji over the last 2.5 years, he had mentioned at a pre-split of 1,800 rupees. I remember it so clearly. The stock went up to 3,500, did a stock split, 5:1, corrected all the way down to almost 540 and is now back above 680. We will always remember those lovely days, Ashish ji, and next time in Mumbai we are meeting and we will discuss a lot of quality stuff as usual. Thank you for your time. What a pleasure. This, ladies and gentlemen, was Shri Ashish Chaturmota, Executive Director and Fund Manager at JM Financial Services. A very, very deep, studious person for markets, both on fundamentals and technicals. And his view is on large caps to remain invested. Likes stocks such as HAL, BEL, Mascom Dock, has a good grasp on the NBFC space and is betting on large cap private sector banks. Thank you for watching. What we'll do is we'll just wrap up the markets. Again, a good day. I had mentioned Mangalwar hai to Mangal hi hoga. The rally continues unabated, ladies and gentlemen. An 800-point uptick on the Nifty IT index. You heard it before the markets opened, 38,031. The Nifty Bank is 350 points higher. This takes its rally to 5,000 points in the last 15 trading sessions. Nifty 23,862. We will see 24,000 before the FNO expiry is over. The level of short covering, the level and intensity of value buying, bottom fishing is increasing rapidly on Dalal Street. You have new highs on Bajaj Finance, Chambal Fertilizer, ICICI Bank to begin with, and all that could go well in the markets after 5 months of intense pain is there. Thank you for watching. We'll be back at 12 noon to take your view on daily calls. Thank you so much.
Hello and welcome to BT Mind Rush Best CEO Awards. I'm joined by Kishore Patil, who's the MD and CEO of KPIT Technology.